The truth is finally out after many months of hiding, of blaming others. Finally, Boeing admits what it should have asked for, what it should have recommended from the start of the 737 MAX. Like, subscribe, and share. Boeing is recommending 737 MAX simulator training in addition to computer-based training for all MAX pilots prior to return to service of the 737 MAX. This recommendation takes into account our unstinting commitment to the safe return of service as well as changes into the airplane and test results. Yada 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 yada. So, what does this mean? This is, for me at least, the $1 trillion proof that Boeing has been cutting corners, has been lying, and can only do one thing now, which is admitting the truth. The 737 MAX is a modification of the 737 next generation, which is fine, but it cannot be flown without the proper additional training because the flight characteristics of the aircraft are not identical. And even with MCAS, and even with a correctly functioning MCAS and correct functioning speed and angle of attack sensors, simulation training is required. And there's no shame in that. It's actually very normal that when you adapt an airplane so much in different areas that additional training is required. But the reason Boeing didn't require this and manipulated the FAA into agreeing to a crazy certification is because it was the only way for Boeing to be competitive with Airbus. They knew they would lose the battle with Airbus over efficiency if they could not say, you do not need simulator training. And why is it such a problem, simulator training? Because of two reasons. One, if a pilot needs simulator training, it means he will spend time outside the aircraft, not flying, not generating money. Two, simulator training is very expensive. Three, if a pilot is not flying, somebody else needs to be there, which means overtime for other pilots. So having to retrain all the pilots who will start flying the MAX, and when an aircraft like the 737 is well utilized, you need multiple crews per aircraft, so that the aircraft spends a maximum of time in the air, flying, making money. And this is not possible now. And you say, okay, let's send all the pilots quickly to training. Well, there are only 34 737 MAX simulators in the whole world. 8 of them at Boeing and 26 spread out among airlines. Start calculating. This is a nightmare. And I believe Boeing knew when they decided to halt production, they knew already that they would have to come with a simulator training recommendation. Because the grounding can only be lifted if this is a fact, and then nobody can start to fly until they have had the training. A training that is yet to be approved by the FAA. And the FAA will not just like, oh, you said you recommend training? Okay, let's have them some training and it's fine. No, the FAA will not make another mistake, because the FAA already failed drastically, dramatically, I mean in the worst possible way, because the FAA is co-responsible for the 346 deaths. So the FAA will not fuck up again. They don't care about how much it will cost Boeing. Even if Boeing would go bankrupt over this, the FAA would not flinch anymore. They will finally do their job like they should have done back then, in the past 10 years at least. So we will see a very slow re-entering into service, and then deliveries will also be relatively slow, because yes, Boeing can say, okay, the aircraft are ready, I have 450 parked, they're all tweaked, updated, here they are. Who will fly them? We don't care. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm not taking delivery before you compensate for the simulator training, or you facilitate it, but actually you compensate for the hours of the pilots. So this is a new big problem for Boeing starting now. How to get all the pilots trained. And we don't know yet how many hours in the simulator. You cannot say that, oh, they just need to practice. No, it's not just practicing. They need to succeed the tests. And if they step in the simulator and at the first run they succeed, they will have to do it again, because it may be a lucky shot. So it will take at least 2 hours, but probably 4 to 8 hours per pilot. Maybe an average of 4. So it will take quite some time, which means deliveries will be very slow. Boeing needs to either facilitate the time in the simulator or pay for it, and only then aircraft will be delivered, will be accepted by the airlines. So there is a chance that it will take another 3 months after the FAA says we have a go, before Boeing can pick up production again. So probably this will happen in, I mean, if they're super lucky, if they manage to create some miracles, manage to instantly generate new simulators, beginning of April. Otherwise it may be May or even June before production of the 737 MAX can pick up again. As I said, they have around 450 aircraft standing there, and no airline will take delivery of the aircraft if they don't have the crews who can actually fly them. So I will say this with pleasure this time. I don't say it often, but I told you so to all those who grilled me for criticizing Boeing and saying that Boeing simply messed up. When I said Boeing was reckless, this is the proof. Boeing is admitting now. Not directly, but indirectly they're saying, yep, we totally fucked up. We lied to be able to sell the aircraft, because we knew we would not sell as many if retraining, especially simulator training, would be required. And they took the risk. And of course, with 4,000 to 5,000 orders that they have now, maybe a little bit more, even with some cancellations, there are not many airlines who will say, no, we will not take the Boeing anymore because our pilots need training. No, because they know Boeing will pay for it, because it's an additional cost that was not within the contract, and they will still take it. So Boeing will not suddenly start losing orders. Yeah, they may lose a few. I mean, if an airline has the choice to take the 737 MAX or the A320neo, because they already have both in their fleet, and it's easier to have the neo, then okay, they may do it, but in general this will not really influence too much the existing orders. It may influence upcoming orders, but most probably Boeing will just take its loss and give an extra discount, which includes or have within the price the simulator training. Like, okay, we sell you this aircraft and we offer you within the package simulator time. But when I say the truth is out, yes, the truth is really out. Boeing lied on purpose to secure deals, to make money. And not just to make money, to have the shares rise. And that is the whole problem within most industries. It's all about the shareholders making more money and doing everything for that. And if there's a problem, oops! No, I don't believe that even one death should be called an oops or collateral damage because shareholders want to make more money. You may call this a political statement, you may call me a socialist or whatever, but fact is, shareholders' wealth should not compete with safety. I rest my case.